Welcome to the Scrybabies podcast. I'm Louis Stardust.
I'm Tori the Vast.
Today we're going to be talking everything Aetherdrift. It is the new hot set of the year. This is one that has been highly anticipated by all racing lovers such as Tori the Vast, as you can tell by what
Tori the Fast.
Yep,
Fast
that's
car.
Sorry. There's been so many like Fast and the Furious memes around this, and what's the other one? The
Mad Max.
Mad Max. There you go. A lot of that too.
NASCAR.
So we're going to see if there's any cool references to the set. I'm personally hoping for a secret lair, a family secret lair in the future. That's totally not
The
happening.
Vin Diesel Magic Card.
It's very good. That seems possible. He was already Magic Card. He was Groot.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You're right. He
Big
is
brain.
Groot.
We're getting super off topic here, but we're going to be talking all things Aetherdrift today, give you our full thoughts and review on the set because there's a lot of stuff in this set. They did a lot of art treatments, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute, but for now, we're going to get into our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by TCG Player, your one-stop shop for all things TCGs, whether it be booster packs, pre-cons, full sets, you name it, they got it.
Yeah, we're talking about Aetherdrift today, but obviously there's so many other sets that are coming out this year. The cool thing about Aetherdrift is there's these like special bundles. What is it
Finish
called?
line bundle.
Finish line bundles, so you could pick those up. There's an unannounced Universes Beyond set coming out this year. We have Final Fantasy, Tarkir. We have a space set coming out. What's it called? Edge of Eternities. There's so much stuff coming out for Magic. So if you want to go ahead and pre-order any items, they're available on TCG Player for full packs and things like that, but also for singles if you're looking for anything in particular. I know I am. There's a lot of cool singles in this set that I'm excited for.
Yep, that's right. And if you're trying to branch out into other TCGs, you could also pick up Flesh and Blood, Pokemon,
One Piece.
One Piece. It's all on
Yu-Gi-Oh,
there.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Go spend your money there.
that's it. Thank you, TCG Player.
Thank you, TCG Player. We love you.
This episode's also sponsored by Dragon Shield, who makes the best sleeves in the entire world, multiverse, everywhere. They're the best. We use them for everything. So if you're going to go buy those cards from TCG Player, now you can keep them safe with Dragon Shields.
Yeah, and we also just launched our own designs on the Dragon Shield site. So you can go get some pretty cool artwork made by moi and deck out your deck with us.
Custom sleeves. Pretty cool.
Yeah, you can do custom sleeves. You can get your wedding pictures.
Yeah,
Wedding's coming up.
You could do your own custom sleeves as well, which is really nice about them. So check out Dragon Shield.
Today's featured patron is Jake Hudson. Jake, thank you so much for being a patron. It is patrons like you who make episodes like these possible. If you're interested in joining our Patreon, you can check the link below. We have some cool rewards, cool products, cool stuff, cool Discord. It's all really cool. Go in there, check it out. Best way to support the show. We love you all. Mwah.
We do love our patrons. All right, let's get into the story of this set. I know you wrote down some stuff, which is great because for me, all I knew is that they changed the plane name and that there was racing and that loot was in the set. And that is like the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah, so I read the whole story because I love reading the Magic story. It takes place in Girapur on Avishgar, formerly known as Kaladesh. This takes place 2 years after the invasion of the Phyrexians when they came through on the World Tree. So the story, basically, I'll sum it up. I don't want to spoil it all for you. Unless you're into spoilers, then I guess stick around. The story follows Sita Varma, also known as Spitfire. She is the daughter of the consulate, who is basically kind of like a big figure in this plane. There is the Girapur Grand Prix, where the winner of this race gets the Aether Spark, which was left behind in Ishikari Bindra's lab after the invasion. She kind of went away after the Phyrexians came and left this thing behind. A bunch of different people are in this race trying to get the Aether Spark, which is also the very cool new big serialized card in the set. Chandra is after this. She's with Nissa. They're trying to get back to Kaladesh. Winter from Duskmourn is also back in this story. Winter is actually racing to get this so he can leave the Duskmourn house. That is the whole deal he has with the Duskmourn plane, is if he gets this thing, they'll let him go. And he is the one who brings Lute with him because Lute was trapped in Duskmourn. He has him in a little cage. It's very sad art that you probably saw, and him just like, wah. Jace and Vraska are also after Lute, so they end up showing up too. The whole story is kind of like a Mad Max vibe. They're all racing. All these like different things are happening to the track. Different creatures are doing different things. It has different like features of different planes. This is a spoiler. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear it. Ultimately, Jace and Vraska do end up getting Lute back, and the story leaves a cliffhanger going into Tarkir, I believe. More intraplanar stuff happening with the portals and Lute being so important because Lute's able to just go to all these different planes easily.
I'm definitely the meme with all the numbers going around me as you're talking.
Yes, I know. It's hard to sum it up. There's like 5 chapters. If you're interested in reading the story or listening, there is an audio available as well. You can go on the Magic website under the story and listen for yourself and hear all about what's going on in the story for Magic the Gathering.
I know people don't like Loot. I love him. But I kind of like that he's like kind of this baby that's being passed around through plane to plane, kind of going through everything. It's
I
really
know.
fun.
And in the story, it's canon now. They do call him just a little guy.
Wow, they had no gender for Loot for a while.
Yeah. And now Chandra's like he's just a little guy. So it is canon. He's just a little guy.
And Chandra would never misgender him ever as
right.
our gay queen. So you know it's true. For sure.
That's right. And in this set, we also have some new mechanics. We have Start Your Engines, which is really cool, and I love this. So Start Your Engines, basically, whenever an opponent loses life during your turn, if your speed is 1 or greater than 1, you increase your speed by 1. So you'll have a little card that tracks your speed, and then you get your max speed of 4. If you have your max speed, this allows for different effects to take place. So a card will say max speed. If you have max speed, this thing can happen. We also have Exhaust. There are abilities that can only happen once during that creature's time on the board state, but there's a loophole. You can flicker this, or you can die and bring it back, and then you can exhaust it again. So, got clarification on that.
That is true.
Yes.
They built a whole deck around that.
To
Specific
be
thing.
continued. So why don't you talk about some of the products coming out in the set?
Oh my god, there's so many products in this set. Something that I like is that there's a different type of bundle for this set, but I wish we had kind of like a unique item like we got for Dustmore, like the TV box. Maybe some kind of, I don't know, little race cars or something stupid. Like I don't know.
The pit stop.
Yeah, that's cute. That's like Drag Race though. There should have been a RuPaul's Drag Race inclusion, I think.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yes, but in this product, or rather, the products in this set that we have are play boosters as usual. These play boosters have so many different options for cards. There's a bunch of special guest cards in this set. Borderless graffiti art that's really, really fun. I don't know if you opened any of those yet, but they're really, really cool.
I ordered 3 of the same one.
Yeah. I don't know if we're saying open because this didn't come out yet and we're not ambassadors.
I'm hoping to get 3 of the same one in my packs.
But I think there's something that we're gonna talk about the art treatments later is like there's so many different versions of singular cards, and I really like the graffiti versions. I'm kind of iffy on the yellow versions. We'll talk about them in a little bit. We also have collector's boosters. These will contain Japanese alt cards, racer arts, gold border, and then there's also the serialized version of the Aether Spark, which I really like that they're doing one singular card instead of a multitude of serialized cards.
Yeah.
I think it ups like the value and it makes it feel really special. And I also want to add that in these boxes, there are box toppers, and in all the box toppers, you have that gold border that I mentioned for a rare or mythic rare, and then also a land. So you'll always get a chance at getting one of those cards, but you'll always get a land in one of those too. So you'll get a box topper, which is really nice.
It's a special land called the point of view land, so it's like you're racing. See what out the window.
We do have bundles, as I mentioned. Those are going to contain 9 play boosters. It's going to have a alt art lumbering wagon, 20 foils, and 20 regular lands, which is good because you could just start build a little deck out of that. That's always fun. And then it always comes with a spin down, which is really cute. There's 2 different spin downs in this set because we also have the finish line bundle, so it has a different art on that one. 6 play boosters, 2 collector's boosters, so it's a little bit of an upgrade. A box topper, the
extended art.
Extended art. Thank you. Brain did not work. 3 extended art cards, special die, foil lands, all that stuff that you normally get in bundles are in there, but you'll get a box topper and the collector's boosters, which is pretty cool if you want to do that.
You also get stickers.
And stickers. You get stickers? I didn't even see any stickers in mine.
Yeah, they're 5 round mana symbols.
What?
Stickers. Yep.
Are they cool? Are they like...
I mean, they're cool. I'm probably going to use them as like mana floating things and just not take the backs off.
Are they just regular stickers?
They're little circles, stickers, yep.
But they're not like Aetherdrift themed. They're just stickers.
They're just mana symbols.
Which I'm happy about because I love just any Magic merch, but I wish they were maybe a little more thematic.
The spin down is cool.
Yeah, the spin down's cool in this one.
Spin down is like checkerboard on each different side, which is nice. Looks like a little racing flag.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like the set symbol. I love the set symbol.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. It's a little racing flag. I don't know. I think it's great.
I think it's fine to say that we have stuff because you have the boxes behind your head. So we do.
Surprise.
Surprise. And then, of course, the last two things we have are two precons for the set. Gavin actually made a video talking about why there was two precons in the set, which I think is really interesting if you want to check it out. One of them is the Sahili Living Energy deck, which I think is really fun. I've been trying to get into energy stuff more recently after the past couple sets have been like really bringing it out, and the deck is really cool. A lot of artifact stuff, very like if you are affinity for artifacts kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
the set is super for you. There's a lot of that. And then the other one is the
Eternal Might.
yes, the other one is the Internal Might Esper, which is strong. I think it's a great deck.
I haven't opened it yet
It's really good.
because I was sad there's not 4. Because I was, well, we're going to eventually play these decks, so
Yeah.
to be continued.
To be
my thoughts on
continued.
it. But yeah, I think it's cool that they did 2 precons. You don't always need 4. You don't always need 4.
four.
Sometimes you just need 2, and then you can just build something cool out of whatever you open in these sets because there's a lot of really neat legendary creatures and other stuff that we are going to get into.
I'm always like, I like the ability to pick one whenever there's like 4 sets or 2 like precons for those. I always pick one because I like to have something that I can like either just keep as a precon or like slowly modify. And so I think 2 is always nice. Like I don't think you need 4. I agree with you on that. So it's pretty fun. But yeah, there's tons of products for the set. We talked about the products, but we haven't really talked about the crazy amount of art in the set. I don't know. I feel like we always have different versions of art, right? Like we'll have this treatment, but this one is like there's a lot, and I also think they just changed the colorways on some of them, so it makes it feel like more than it actually is.
Yeah, so they also introduced the racer art, which we both thought was super cool. It's bright and colorful artwork on like a solid pastel looking background.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like the whole like Ratfink artwork.
It's totally Ratfink, which I think is
Yeah.
really, really cool. If you're not like familiar with Ratfink, this is kind of like a little mascot that you'll see in a lot of like drifty hot rod type of cars and stuff. And he's like very like rockabilly pinup. Like people know Ratfink, right? So it's like really cool that they did art that was like very much inspired by like that era for this set. And I think it's like some of the coolest art for Magic. It's so like not grotesque, but it's like
It's just like
it's different.
It's cartoony,
Yeah.
it's exaggerated, it's very like surrealist and just bold, bright, weird. It's
Right.
weird art. So for those we got like the Saganosaurus Rex, which looks really, really cool. That was one of my favorites. The Bloodghast looks really, really
That one's
neat.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, Bloodghast looks awesome. And we have some new cards in here, like District Mascot. It's a little puppy. Mindspring
I
Merfolk.
was gonna say I like the Merfolk one a lot too.
There's the Gas Guzzler. They all look awesome. Like and the foiling on those, they look incredible.
You can't call a card a gas guzzler. It's too much. It's too much. Oh yeah. Well, so I agree with you. They're very cool. And then you have like those backgrounds, but then you also have the opportunity to have the gold versions of them too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I am a hater.
hater.
Yeah. I'm not like a hater. I am a disliker of these. I thought they would look different, and I feel like they're like jarring. And also like we were talking about, the borders are really cool for like the lands that you have, but I think it has the same problem that like the Crimson Vow sets and the other ones did, where it's like the black lands where
You
can
can't tell
never-
them apart.
you can't tell anything
Yeah.
apart, and so it's going to make it very confusing, especially when you have shiny gold bright cards where you cannot see
Underneath convention center lighting,
with your sleeves on top,
glaring down
your
on
dragon
you.
shields, you know. Like,
Yeah, they're cool. Like I think it's a neat thing to have a different like finish on
Yeah.
a card because it's something that you could change to make something like look different.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like you did foil, you did an etched foil, you did a full art foil. It's like, okay, what new thing can we do? The gold. The gold looks cool. I like iridescent. I think iridescent foils could have been neat.
I think it's and if you like this, I'm sorry. I think it's like this could be made, but did we go too far? like did it have to? I don't know. It's not my favorite, but also the other lands are really pretty too. So if I can't use those ones, that's okay because the other lands are really nice, and I'll happily use those for my deck too.
Exactly. The full arts in this one are very, very cool.
Yeah, very, very fun.
We also have the Japanese Eclipse foil and regular foils. The Eclipse are like the confetti looking one. Regular foil is just regular foil. So these are full arts. They're available in English and in Japanese printing as well. And your favorite little guy is in this.
Lute has the best art out of all of these, I think.
He does.
He has the
Easy.
best art out of all of these. I'm obsessed with the Japanese art for this. The confetti foil is insane. The Chandra is really pretty too. I love the art for that. I know there's also like a different version of her where she's more Akira style. You're talking about that. I'm like, I did not see that because I was focused on this Japanese version. And I also like the Lotus. What was it called? The Lotus
Oh,
Blue
the
Lotus.
Radiant Lotus.
Radiant Lotus.
Radiant Lotus
I
is
thought
very
that one
cool.
was really pretty too.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that a lot. I think one of them I really liked was the mimeoplasm. I can't
Yeah.
say it.
It's
The revered
cute.
one. I like when they do these in the collector boosters because I love the confetti like foil look on
Yeah.
cards. It reminds me of like old school Pokemon cards. So every time I see like a confetti foil, I get really excited. I also think like the anime artwork versions of these, like you got the Chandra was really cool. Mu Yangling it looks awesome. I'm never disappointed by these, so happy that they keep bringing them back.
Yeah, it's like a special little treat when you open one or two of them in your boxes. Like you never know what you're gonna get, and I think I like those better than looking for a serialized card. Like
Yep.
to me, like the serialized cards are really cool, but to me, when you open them, it just feels like, oh, this is a valuable card. Like that maybe I can sell on the secondary market or use it versus like getting one of these cool arts where like this is gorgeous. I'm putting it in my deck. It's really fun. And
Yeah.
I think people keep their serialized cards. I know people that have serialized cards decks, so I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But this feels more of like a again, like a little treat. Like, ooh, this is
It
so
feels
fun.
also realistic. Every
Yeah.
time I open a booster that has like a collector number in there, I know I ain't getting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen. But when I get one of those, I'm like, whoa, this is cool.
Love that for me.
We also have the graffiti artwork. These are available in a regular graffiti artwork, and they also come in your favorite gold as well.
I love that.
They did all the new Gear Hulks in this set, in this treatment. They look really, really cool. If you're a fan of graffiti artwork, which also kind of I think goes well with like racing and like the roads and tunnels and stuff like that, seeing graffiti, it fit really well.
It feels like you're like street drifting. It's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that was the right choice for those card types because I think it looks like it blends in really nice. I would love to see this treatment done on other cards. Like they could honestly do a layer of this or something else. Being from like New Jersey and like living in Philly and stuff, this is like, I don't know, just feels like it's cool for our area. We actually have like a cool graffiti style tee and hoodie on our bonfire. That's a Scrybabies if you want to check it out and you like graffiti like we do. But I thought that was a really unique style for Magic, and I like that they did that.
Yeah, they came out really cool. They did a lot of the Gear Hulks, which is good because like they are artifacts, so like they have that whole like machinery thing going with them.
Right.
And they also did Ketramose and Hazaret. And they did Sabsunin, the big frog.
The
god frog. Yeah, all the gods are in graffiti. It's just really, really neat. I was happy to see these.
People really like that.
The full arts are also available of the main set rares.
Yeah,
for gold. We don't really love them.
That's okay.
And that's okay. You don't have to like everything.
But what you do like is notable reprints because that makes it the cost of things go down and they're fun. So
yes, that's correct. We do have some notable reprints. Did you have any reprints that you were excited about?
Well, to be honest with you, I did not see the Panharmonicon, but I love that card and I didn't even know we had one. So that's really fun.
Yeah. Chromatic Lantern too.
That was my like actual, I was like, yeah, I'm a big Chromatic Lantern girly. I feel like people sleep on this card. I feel like if you're playing 3 colors, it's just a must.
I love that card.
Yeah.
Lightning Strike and Spell Pierce are both in this set, which is really cool because we're going to see Spell Pierce and Lightning Strike in Standard. I actually saw somebody tweet not that long ago, like, man, Spell Pierce in Standard would fix so much right now. And I was just like, they don't even know. They don't even know.
It's just a good, cheap card. It's good.
It's a great counter.
It's a great counter.
Yeah.
Great counter. I'll never be mad about a Spell Pierce in a set ever. At all.
I ain't upset.
Mm-mm.
We also have the special guest.
Yeah.
Reprints that are reimagined in very cool art treatments that go along with the set. What was your favorite one? I bet I could take a guess.
Is it the Chromox?
That's right.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, the Chromox is pretty cool. There's 2 versions of them. The one you could only get, is it in box toppers? Is that what it is? Or it's like specifically to...
They're in the... I think you can open the special guests in anything.
You can open the special guest in anything, but the special gold art one.
Oh, that's going to be in the collectors probably.
Yeah. So that's like a rare one to get. Really cool art for Chromox. I'm really happy about that. I think they did a good job with that.
It needed a reprint.
Yeah.
I'm glad when they do like a special guest card of a card that desperately needs to be reprinted. Like they did Doubling Season.
Yeah. So cute.
In the last, or in Foundations.
The kitties.
With the kitties. We
They're
both
so
wanted
cute.
it. We both got it. Stoked on that.
My other favorite is the Chandra's Ignition, which I feel like is like perfect because of the set. Like Chandra's so heavily in the set, it's great for her.
Exactly.
I love this card. I use it a lot, so I'm really happy about that one.
Yeah, there's also the Sky Sovereign console flagship, which is a really cool card that's in here, and also Thoughtcast. The Thoughtcast artwork looks really, really neat. A lot of people who play Affinity love Thoughtcast.
Word
Looks
Invention's
really
good
good.
too. There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, we also have Galvanic Blast, Lore of the Undead, Pathbreaker, Ebex, which I'm probably saying wrong, the Bone Miser, Cavalier of Dawn. All of them look really good. And again, anytime they do a card that desperately needs to be reprinted, makes me happy.
Yeah. No, I think it's always a hit. I really like this is probably like my favorite thing that Wizards has done like since I started playing Magic is like having those special guest cards come in for a lot of things that we want but don't fit into other sets necessarily. So very happy about those. All right, we've talked about so many cool art and treatments. So let's talk about our like top cards or ones that you're hoping to open or play with or
Cool new
all that jazz stuff. Yeah, cool new stuff.
Cool new stuff. So I was really stoked on the Chandra Spark Hunter Mythic Planeswalker in the set. It's just a really neat Planeswalker. Planeswalkers are cool. I'm coming around on them. I used to be a Planeswalker hater because I had a really bad experience against Planeswalker EDH checks. But this one's really neat, and my favorite thing about it is the artwork is showing off that Akira bike slide that so many other movies and cartoons do. It's an iconic scene in Akira, so as a big fan of Akira, I was just happy to see that they did that with Chandra on the bike. It looks awesome. Really, really stoked on that. So that automatically made my number one want and need, and I did open it. So I was. Then I also put down Crypt Caller Chariot. This one has cats on it, so immediately I picked it up and was like, "Ooh, what is this?" It's just a really cool vehicle with Menace, and anything that has some bullshit people don't want to deal with, like Menace or Ward, I automatically gravitate to. It's just really neat. There's little kitties pulling a chariot, and it's awesome. It makes zombies. Bright Glass Gear Hulk. Try saying that 3 times fast. Really cool artifact creature with First Strike and Trample. He's a 4/4. He does a bunch of cool stuff when he enters the library. Everyone's saying this card's going to be broken, and he is. And he also looks cool. His not spray paint, his graffiti art looks really, really neat. So stoked on him. And all of the Gear Hulks look really, really good. And then my other 2 cards were Explosive Getaway, because once again, it looks like the Akira bike. And in the confetti foil and like Japanese version of it, it just looks neat. It just looks very like anime, very powerful. Like, I don't know, it just reminded me so much of Akira that I got super excited.
I like that. That's good.
I'm a big Akira fan. What can I say? I like what I like. Motorcycles are cool. Will I ever ride one? No. Are they cool? Yes. And then last but not least, I put down the Speed Demon. He's really, really cool. His artwork for like the racer art I thought was so goofy and weird and fun. I just loved it. But he's like a flying trample with start your engines. And he's a 5/5. And at the beginning of your end step, you draw cards and lose life where it's your speed. Drawing cards, losing life. I could lose life in Commander, so that's okay. I don't know. Just thought it was really, really cool. Also, the fact that he's called the Speed Demon.
It's funny and cute. I put down the Hall Squad Heavy, which is a goblin for a red and 2 colorless. It's got start your engines on it, and then it says other goblins you control have haste, which is really fun, especially if you're a goblin girly like we are. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, you're going to make a red goblin creature token. It has to attack if able, so your hasty goblins are just going to be able to attack. And then at max speed, you can add red for each goblin you control. This is great if you're a goblin person. I feel like I might just try this on Winota just because we play so many goblins in it. It's really silly. It's really fun. I love the art on this one too. I'm also a big fan of the Aetherflux Conduit, which is fun because it's like Aetherflux Reservoir. It's like a little nod to that. Whenever you cast a spell, you get an amount of... Why am I blanking? What is it called? I was talking about this earlier.
Energy.
I was like, Flash, that's not it. We get an amount of energy equal to the amount of mana spent to cast that spell. And then you can convert that by paying 50 energy to draw 7 cards. And you can cast any number of spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. That's broken. That's so fun. There's so much energy stuff in this deck. I know some people... that was like my hate card for a long time. It was like AC and Aetherflux Reservoir decks because they would play them and they would gain so much life and they would just one-shot you. And so this is different. Instead of being mean with it. You get to be really fun and cast so many things and draw a bunch of cards. It's very silly. I'm also a fan of the Sky Seer's Chariot. It's a vehicle that enters and you choose a non-land card name and activated abilities of sources with the chosen name cost 2 more to activate, which I think is really good. It's a good stacks piece. I'm also a big fan of the Unstoppable Plan, which the art for it is so like it just looks like the Suicide Squad. It's got Chase and like the big shark and the robot.
The shark's fucking eyes, man.
It's just so funny to me. But it says at the beginning of your end step, you untap all non-land permanents you control, which is pretty good for blue and 2. So there's a bunch of other good cards in this set that I thought were like cool little staples that I would see being used more often. But the picture on that one is like one of my favorite things ever. I also like Renewed Solidarity, which is an enchantment that says, as this enchantment enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control, the chosen type get +1/+0. And then at the beginning of your end step, for each token you control of the chosen type that entered this turn, you make a token that's a copy of this. So it's really good for those like Ocelot Pride decks or any token decks, which we tend to do a lot of. And it's just a great white card. So that one
You just love enchantments.
I love enchantments. I don't play enough of them. I love my artifacts. This is a great artifact set, and I love my goblins. That's kind of who I am.
You know what? And I do like that on Sky Seer's Chariot, the flavor text is "Get carried away."
It's cute. I like the cat one too. All the chariot cards are really fun. I like that for a design purpose.
I know. It's a cool way that they have like different styles of racing. Because at first, when this set was coming out, and I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was literally going to be everyone's in a car.
Yeah.
Someone's in a Ford going fast, and like who knows? Who knows? We had no idea. I was like, why is everybody in a car? What's going on? But then when the story came out and the art came out, you see people are in chariots or in a ship or in something that moves, some kind of vessel in this race, which made it more like
the ships are so random to me, but I respect it. I think it's fun. It's very like BioShocky, where it's like, okay, we're gonna race with this ship on this thing. I don't know. I don't quite get it, but I really admire it. I think it's really fun and like whimsical, right?
And it also goes into like the different like planes.
Right.
Like all of the Amonkhet people are like in chariots, which like goes back to like the whole like ancient Egyptian times and things like that. Like
they did such a strong zombie theme and like recursion in this deck, which I didn't expect either. Like one of the cards I put down was the mummy card that everybody's like, this mummy's really hot. The curse cloth wrappings art, which is like so good.
Oh, they're in the story. They bring them back to life to race.
Yeah, that's it. They can't have peace or slumber. They're there to race.
There's a lot. Read the story.
Wait,
it's crazy.
Are they like, hold on? Are they like the best racers, and so they reanimate them so that they can race? Or
I mean, that's not why they're not like raising up like, yo, he used to crush.
Why do they do it?
I'm trying to remember. I read the story like yesterday, but I got so fixated on loot that I like kind of forgot what happened with them. But they were raising them from the dead and using them in the race, and also in the race they kind of had like that.
They raise them to use them without their like. What is the purpose? Like,
listen, when you're dead, you're dead, and if you have the power to raise the dead, I guess you just do it. I don't think you think twice. Like,
sure, I guess it's the guy. The guy's like, my army of undead will come to the races.
My zombies.
It's not like they were like, we really need to fill slots, so we'll just bring these zombies into. This is a lie. I gotta read the story.
Yeah, read the story or listen to it. It's pretty interesting. They do go to Amonkhet at one point.
That's cool.
You see Hazaret, which is really cool. Hazaret's a cool character. Yeah. So there's a lot going on there. The shark, he's a character. That whole scene on Unstoppable Plan that we laugh at, I saw that card and I cracked up because of the shark's eyes. That happens in the story.
Wow.
That's a painting of the story of Jace doing his thing.
I'm not making fun of it because I do think it's like a cool card.
It's a cool card. It's just funny because the shark's like nose is so
But that's why it reminds me of Suicide Squad, because they have the shark guy. Yes. So it's literally just sitting there like that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny to see a shark standing, okay?
Yeah, it is funny.
Same thing with like One Piece. They have like the shark pirates, the shark men. It's just kind of silly.
Should we get into our commanders now that we've been going off of the shark?
Yes. Cool new commanders. So I have Captain Howler. He's an Is It bullshit shark. Just doing Is It. And he's really, really cool. He's got Ward, paying 2 life. Obviously, we know I love Ward. I play all the Ward commanders and all that bullshit. So whenever you discard 1 or more cards, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn for each card discarded this way. And whenever that creature deals combat damage to a player this turn, I get to draw a card. And he's a 5/4. He's really cool. He's like a shark pirate. He's got a bunch of tattoos. He's a tatty daddy shark with a big ship.
He looks like our friend Steve. And I keep saying this because it's just like our friend Steve has like a lot of tattoos and his head's tattooed. So I'm like, this shark is Steve, and I keep wanting to show him it
After we
really
just
bad.
made fun of the eyes on the shark
No, I
car.
wasn't saying the shark was ugly or something. I was just saying the picture looked like Suicide Squad. That's all I said.
It's funny. It's funny.
But that's actually a deck that you've made already because we both made CDH decks from this set that we're going to be doing a special deck tech on very soon.
Yeah.
So you got that little shark guy?
We got the shark guy. I haven't built him yet, but Kaladin Triumph Caster.
Yeah.
He's a cool commander. He's got he's Boros colors. We both love Boros, so I was automatically like, what's he do? So mounts and vehicles you control have haste, which is super fun. Whenever a mount you control enters, it becomes saddled until your end of turn. And whenever a vehicle you control enters, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. This set has so many cool new vehicles in it. There's also a lot of cool vehicle cards from past sets. I actually built a vehicles deck, and I was stoked to see all the new stuff coming out for this. But he just seems like a really cheap commander too. He's only 2 mana.
Yeah.
So I think he can get like out of hand pretty quick and just, I don't know. I like a good artifact theme, and I feel like that's a fun spin on it when it's using artifact creatures out of vehicles. The other one I have that I'm considering building for, we're eventually going to do a best commander of this set, casual episode.
Casual.
I put Ovia, the Automech Artisan, because what she does is each creature that's attacking one of your opponents has trample. I love trample. Trample's so fun. And for a green, you can tap it, and you can put a creature or vehicle card from your hand onto the battlefield. And if you put an artifact into the battlefield this way, you put 2+1/+1 counters on it.
Yeah.
I love cheating stuff into play. That's why I loved Kalia so much. I love being like, bam, here's a 8 mana creature from my hand. Now it's on the battlefield. It's huge. Deal with it. It is mono green, so I'm not sure how beefy it can get.
Oh, it can get beefy. Mono green is like all about big tramply big creatures. Yeah, it can.
Yeah, so but there's not a lot of other like, since it's only green, I can't play anything to like really protect them too much. There's no Teferi's protection, there's no counters. There's just green stuff that I could try to do to save them, so I'm hoping that it won't be weak.
Yeah, you just gotta overrun them. Like,
gotta be
over and over
fast.
again. Yeah.
Gotta go fast. But yeah, I'm super excited to make this deck because I was like, oh my god, this is like a green deck.
Yeah.
This could be really, really fun.
I love that. One of the decks that I was most interested in, of course, was the Saheeli Precon. So I wanted to maybe give that a shot for our casual game that we were talking about because I think the design's really fun. But also the Mendicant Core Guidelight robot for 2 colors, just Azorius. He's really fun. I've never made an Azorius deck before, so I thought this could be cute. He's a little robot that says his power is equal to the number of artifacts you control, and then it has start your engines at max speed. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may pay 1. If you do, you copy it.
Ooh.
So I thought that was a really cool design. Again, I never play Azorius, so I really wanted to do that. And then for the CDH decks that we were talking about, I built Loot, of course. I hinted at it earlier that I was going to be blinking a card, and it's this one. The Loot is really fun. I love Teamer decks, so this was like on automatic gravitate towards deck. So for Teamer and 2, you get a 2/4 that has Double Strike and Vigilance and Haste. And then it has Exhaust for each color. So for green, you can tap for 3 mana of any color. For blue, you can tap and draw 3 cards. And then for red, you can tap and deal 3 damage to any target. Again, he has haste, so you can just go out the gates and tap him right away once you exhaust it. You technically can't do anything else, but if you play with a blank kind of deck and do like Displacer Kit and things, or find other ways to blink Loot and just continuously use those abilities, you could just lightning bolt your opponents to death, which is really fun. Or you could draw a ton of cards or make a lot of mana. So I thought this was a really fun design. And the last one I had was Atachik Emerald Radiant. It's a insect druid in Golgari. I love Golgari decks. When it enters, you make a 1/1 green insect creature token for each artifact and or creature card in your graveyard. And then whenever another insect you control dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on your commander, and then each opponent loses 1 life. I thought this was fun. I feel like Golgari decks tend to do the same thing over and over again. And while this is still like opponents are losing life and you can go that way, I think it's really fun to use a lot of bugs. There was a bug that came out in the Clue set that I really want to build, and it wasn't just hitting right. So I feel like this might satisfy that need, and I'll get to play a bunch of weird little insect guys and then drain life, and it seems cute and fun. So I'm excited about that
Little
one.
bugs.
Little bugs.
Are you a bug kid?
Yeah.
Did you have creepy crawlers?
Yes.
Okay.
I love bugs.
Everything's making sense now. It's all coming together.
I'm definitely the person who's like, "Oh, there's a spider in the house. We have to save it and put it outside." And Ian's like, "Kill it with fire." So that's just kind of where I'm at. But yeah, let's talk about just your your pros and cons for the set, I guess.
So my pros for this set as a whole, I definitely love all the vehicles. I think it was a cool set to bring vehicles back to make them like relevant, like making it be a race and people using cars and
Mhm.
ships. It makes sense. So I think that's a really big pro for me. I also like that there is a representation of a bunch of different like uh I guess creature types. Like you have like the shark pirates and
Mhm.
like the shark people. You have the Amonkhet people coming in who have like the gods and everything else. So because they're all coming together on this plane to do this race, it's a good way to just integrate multiple like lovable characters
Right.
and bring them in. And also Chandra's really cool. The whole story has like Chandra and like Pia Nalar, who's like her mom,
Mhm.
is in this. Sito is a really fun new character. She has a card. So those were my pros for me. I thought that it was nice to also just see like a bunch of powerful women being like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do all this cool stuff. And of course, Loot.
Yeah.
Loot's a really cool creature, and finding more out about him has been super fun. And yeah, I think that was like the big hit for me was just watching everything kind of be like, oh, winter's here. Why is winter here? Oh, because of this. Oh, the Amonkhet people are here. Oh, why? Because of this. So
Yeah.
makes sense. Brings them all back.
I think it's really fun. This a pro for me is I didn't think I was gonna like this set at all. It just is not my type of set. I wasn't like a how could racing be in Magic thing because I do think it makes sense. I don't know. You have a bunch of characters. What are you gonna do for fun? Maybe race. Who knows? Maybe you're gonna do something silly. Like the premise of it makes sense to me for a Magic world, and they didn't make you feel like okay, we went to the Cars racetrack. Like it was very much like a here is this plains and setting where it makes sense for it. I do like that they brought in so many different creature types without it feeling overwhelming. And also, we didn't have like 4 decks dedicated to creature types; they're just built into the set really nicely. Um, I'm also obviously a fan of all the stuff they did with loot and the art treatments that they did. What is it called for the? It's not confetti, but it's
Oh, the
the
Eclipse
eclipse
foil.
things. Those look really pretty. I like that a lot. I'm also just a big fan of like artifact stuff. Like I'm not an artifact fan, but I'm glad that they brought all those artifact things into the set because I think that's really nice too. My negative stuff is like it is I don't know if this is gonna be one of those sets, and I don't know if this is negative, but I don't know if this is gonna be one of those long-standing sets where people are like, "We gotta go back to Aetherdrift. Like this was such a good fun thing." Like like how people feel about Bloomberg or other sets that came out last year, right? So I think this is like a fun one shot, like one-off story that could be really cute.
Yeah.
I don't know if we go back to it. And then my other negative are the gold cards. I think that's like my only thing.
Yeah, my con was the gold cards, and also when I read the story, sometimes there was parts where it was just a lot going on, and Jace and Vrasco were like not like necessarily, I don't want to say like they're super evil bad guys, but like it's very clear that they're after loot for a reason, and I kind of wish that like um they would just lean heavily into like Jace coming down and trying to fuck up the race and making him like more of a bad, like obvious bad guy, because he's always kind of like, don't make me do this, just make him do it, like just make him do it, just make him be the big bad, you know, like if that's gonna be your thing. So story wise, that was a little bit of a miss for me, but I also think it's just hard because like you said, like the Bloomberg story, I gave like a chef's kiss. I was like, if you wrote like a 5 graphic novel or even just like a regular ass book series of these, I would read the whole thing because the
Right.
story was just so captivating and good. Where this one, I was like, all right, like this would be a cool movie.
Yeah.
The
I,
race, I don't know.
I think it might be fun to do for like draft and sealed, especially.
Yeah,
I like anything that has like a focus on 2 color, which I thought this entire set would be 2 color, but we got a lot of like Teamer and Esper stuff, which I was surprised about. Um, I'm not mad at it. I'm really happy about those cards, but I was surprised about those two. We didn't even talk about the one Esper guy who's like insane in this, which we're not going to get into, but here's a picture of it. That card's crazy. The one that Dylan's gonna play.
Mhm.
That card's crazy, and we didn't even talk about it. So I do think there's like strong cards in this deck and it's fun, or the set and it's fun, but it just isn't. I don't know. It's not like I am more pleased with myself for being like interested in the set and thinking it's fun because I was totally writing it off for the year. But I just don't think it's gonna be a
Yeah,
yeah.
I think this is kind of like this year's Thunder Junction, where like it was fun, and
Yes.
then it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like, okay, on to the next thing now.
Right.
That will probably be like a fan favorite. I don't think this will be like the set of the year, but it's fun.
But there's good standout cards and there's good art treatments, so like I'm happy with it.
And there's just like good like, well, we'll get into this with like MagicCon because MagicCon is going to be based around Aetherdrift.
Yes.
But yeah, there's just cool things they could do to lean into the whole race thing, like you said, going into secret lairs, anything else, which they should lean into.
It's just
with
done
the
at the NASCAR track. We're just
Listen, I
that's
like
the full set.
NASCAR.
Yeah.
So I had my NASCAR shirt. I was ready.
This is a great opportunity to just do a Mario Kart something because it made me feel like that with the POV driving stuff.
Yep.
Felt very Mario Kartish, which I thought was cute. I wish I liked it more, but I thought it was a really cute concept. So we should have done those the opposite way. We should have done our negatives first to end on a positive note. Now I'm like sad and be like, oh, this
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah. So I do think it's like worth buying if you want to pick up like a pre-con or you want to open some packs and stuff. Like I do think there's like positive things to this set. I don't think it's like a total miss at all. I just don't think it's going to be like my favorite set this year. I'm excited for Space and Final Fantasy, even though I don't even know what half the stuff is. And I think that's just like, it's really hard to look at those big things and be like those ones, and then
yeah, I know Final Fantasy is coming up, so I'm just like, all right, cool, race Cloud,
yeah,
you know,
Cloud.
but it is fun. I think it's gonna be fun at pre-release, and I think when I go to pre-release and play this set and draft it, then from there I'll probably pick up like, my thing is if I really like a draftable set or a pre-release set, then I'll get a box to draft with everybody else later.
Yes.
So base it off of that.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for it.
Well, those are all of our thoughts on Aetherdrift. Let us know what you're thinking about the set down in the comments below. Let us know what you're building. Let us know if you like those gold lands. And thank you again for checking out this episode.
That's right. And to see more episodes like this, be sure to leave us a thumbs up. A nice little like down there. Subscribe. Comment on the video. It helps us more than you know. And we'll see you next time.